Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. Welcome to today's video. So in this video, what I wanted to talk about was the online coaching business model. So I'm going to be revealing the five. We have four here and the fifth on the next screen. The five coaching business model that you can employ as a coach, whether you're doing this online, whether you're a life coach or a health coach. And this even works if you're a hypnotherapist in NLP and RTT. It really doesn't matter. These are the five business models that you can implement into your business. Now, depending on the niche, depending on the type of client that you work with, depending on your goals, depending on the income you want to be earning, you should be able to pinpoint the exact model that's going to work best for your business long term. So I'll go through these five. I'll talk about my favorite and what I recommend you do, but I'll also talk about the downside to some of the more popular coaching models that people are trying to employ in their business. So let's dive straight in. I'll try and make this as simple as possible. So make sure you grab a notepad and pen and write down any notes. So let's start over to the left here. The first model is the model that we coined. It's something that it really describes what I think is the best model, whether you're starting out, you're intermediate, you're advanced as a coach or a therapist, and it should be a model that you really want to wrap your mind around. I call this the MOS model. MOS stands for minimum optimum service. So what this really means and what it's trying to say and what it encapsulates is you want to be doing the least amount of work, have your clients doing the least amount of work, the least amount of moving parts, the least amount of effort for your client to get their breakthrough, and with the quickest speed. Here's the one thing I realize about coaching clients and therapy clients is clients will always pay more for speed. No client wants to sit there day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year to get their outcome, to get their transformation or their breakthrough. We know that clients are time poor. So it's always best for the model that we try and give them this breakthrough as quickly as possible. Now, I don't mean cut corners. I don't mean not give your clients the things they need to have for that breakthrough. But as far as a timing mechanism and as far as being able to differentiate yourself from the market, we always teach our students to add speed to the mix. Because here's what happens. Coaches and therapists want to increase their income. They want to scale their business. So what a lot of them do when they think about this, their mind clicks onto, well, if I want to increase my prices, it means I've got to increase the value. And the way I'm going to increase value is by giving more things, more time, more sessions, more workbooks, more audio, more. But this is not the model that we follow. And this is not the model I recommend you do, because you end up giving your clients a whole lot of stuff they don't need. And all it does is extend the time for your client's transformation, which means that now you're wasting a lot of time. And in fact, even if you were to get paid up front, it means that the money that you've earned for this new client means you have to stretch that income over longer periods of time, the distributions over longer periods of time, which means you're actually paying yourself less. So when it comes to value, when it comes to increasing your prices in the MOS model, we want to add speed. You only want to be giving your clients the things they need to get their transformation. You want to have the least amount of time with your clients. You want to also make sure that your transformation has the least amount of effort for your clients to get there. Clients are time poor and clients are lazy. Let's be honest. A client's always going to go with a therapist if they don't have to do as much work than another therapist who's going to take far too long, too much time, too much effort, too much of everything. They're always going to pick that therapist that can get their results quickly and has the least amount of effort. So as far as the economics for your business and the model and the infrastructure of your business, it means the least amount of moving parts. It means that if you can get your client in, get them transformed, then get them out, move on to the next client, it's always more beneficial for your model as a therapist or a coach, because now you don't have too many moving parts. Anytime there's too much things going on in the background in your business, it gets very overcomplicated and gets very confusing. So think of the MOS model as like what I call the perfect pill. Let's say, for example, you created a pill, and this is just a metaphor. You created a pill that if a client swallowed that pill, within 1 minute, they'd instantly become a millionaire. Like that would be the ultimate product. Obviously, it's never going to happen. So think of this. The outcome is great, $1 million by swallowing one pill once. You don't have to do it every week or every month, just one pill. Swallow it once. Within 1 minute, you become a millionaire. Least amount of time, least amount of effort, least amount of moving parts. So think of the time. It takes 1 minute. Swallow the pill, like pick the pill up, swallow it, have a glass of water. Within 1 minute, you're a millionaire. Least amount of effort. Pick up the pill, put it in your mouth, swallow. It's not a lot of effort. Least amount of moving parts, one pill. Speed, 1 minute. See where I'm going here, guys? And you want to try and get, and again, it's just a metaphor, you want to try and get as close to that perfect pill formula with your therapy clients. If I was to align you up between you're the therapist that can get a client's transformation in 3 hours, least amount of moving parts, least amount of effort, which means your client just has to show up, listen to your therapy or coaching, and they will transform. Or they have a choice to go to another therapist who's going to take 6 months plus a workbook, plus audios, plus extra sessions, plus time, plus this, plus this. That therapist or a coach that has the least amount of things is always going to win that client. So I always recommend the MOS model. We teach this to our students. Even our students that are doing $50,000 per month are still following this MOS model, okay? The next model, so that's the one I recommend. The next model that I recommend could be more like a package model. You can call it whatever you want to. So what this combines is the MOS, which is the minimum optimum service, least amount of time, effort, and moving parts with the most amount of speed, where maybe you can get paid upfront in full for that transformation. However, what you might do, you might find that your client, after working with you, let's say they have their transformation in a couple of hours, they also want some monthly support. They also might want to catch up with you once a month, not to essentially work on a new problem, but just to be there for guidance and support, more like a life coach on the side. So you could upsell some sort of support model. So you'd get paid for the MOS transformation. Let's say it's $1,500, $2,500, $5,000, whatever it is, to give them their transformation. And then you could upsell them to a support, which might be every month it costs you $1,500. You get 2 phone calls a week with me, unlimited email access, and whatever you want to add to it. So you could upsell to that support. Also, you could upsell to a new problem. So what you'll find that if you give your clients their transformation extremely quickly and they're satisfied with their results, let's say a client has paid you to overcome their anxiety. More than likely, if they've had a great experience, you've taken them through the MOS model, there wasn't a lot of effort, not a lot of moving parts, and they had their transformation very quickly, more than likely this client's going to want something else fixed in their life. So they might say, well, I've overcome my anxiety. Do you also work with weight loss? Because I'd love to be able to lose 10 kilos before my high school reunion in 2 months, whatever it is. So you could upsell them to a new problem, which means you'd upsell them back into the MOS model. So the package model can work, okay, and it's something to consider as well. So they'd be the first 2 that I'd go to. The next is obviously the group model, okay, and this is especially done online. The problem with the group model, or the positives with the group model, it means that we're solving one big issue, which is the MOS model, working with face-to-face clients one at a time. We're always going to experience our first bottleneck, which is time. So if you're wanting to scale your business, we can't just constantly bring in face-to-face client after face-to-face client. Why? Because there's only one of you and you only have a limited amount of time to see clients per week. Amongst all the marketing you have to do, the social media you have to do to get new clients, you're always going to run into an issue with time. So to take care of that bottleneck, which is time, and you want to increase your income, I mean, you can't just keep increasing your prices over and over. There's going to be a ceiling to that. You could run like a group model where, let's say, for example, you get 10 clients per month at $1,000 each. That's $10,000 per month. It's the same amount of money you could earn with the MOS model, but what you're solving is the issue with time. So instead of seeing 10 clients in a row, now you see 10 people all at once and you solve their problem that way. The problem with the group model is you do have a start and an end date, okay? Which means that you still have to do the work. I mean, it means that you can only enroll clients. Maybe let's say you start your group coaching program at the start of the month. It goes for 4 weeks to the end of the month, which means that you have a start and end date, which means that if someone finds out about your group model or your group coaching program and they want to start halfway in between that month, they can't. They have to wait till the next month or the month after that. Why? Because you physically have to do like the face-to-face therapy or coaching, and it's done in a group form. So now you're still included in that model. You still have to be there. You still have to physically do the work, which again causes another bottleneck, which is you in the business. So we do have a start and end date, which means that somebody can't enroll anytime they want to, which means you could possibly lose clients. You still have to do the work, but it's better than just 1 client at a time. And now you're seeing 10 clients at a time, but you still have to physically do the work and might be doing like 2 phone calls per week and some homework. It does take care of a lot of the time issues, which means you're doing less work for more money at the end of the day, but you're still physically there. It's not evergreen, which means that the program or the group coaching program is not running continuously. You can't sell people into it continuously. You can't be marketing this thing continuously because, again, you still have to physically be there and you've got to start an end date. And again, a group model has many, many moving parts, okay? So if you're doing like 2 phone calls a week, plus you're doing homework, it means you've got to motivate these people to do the homework. You've got to make sure that people show up. There's a lot of moving parts in the group model to enroll new clients, to launch the program the following month, rather than the MOS. So it gets a little bit tricky with a group model, but it can be done very successfully. The last model, and what everybody loves that I don't think is a worthwhile model, is the subscription model, which means that you have like an online store or an online training program that someone can enroll, or several training programs, I should say, that somebody can enroll to and pay a monthly subscription for unlimited access to all your material, all your videos, all your audios, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously the subscription model, it's at a very low price. So you might charge $50 a month, $100 a month, $150 a month, which sounds good in theory. Because if you think, okay, if I get 50 people a month, even at $100, and I don't have to really do anything, they just have to sign up. I've built the site, it's all automated, they can listen to the audios and all that sort of stuff. That's a lot of extra revenue or cash coming into my business. The problem with the subscription model is people can drop out at any time, which means that, let's say, for example, you get 10 people at $100, okay, it's $1,000. It means that if you get them in on a Monday, by Friday, if they consume all your material, they can just drop out. And now you've got to go get another 10 people, another 20 people. So you'll find those ebbs and flow in your income. And more than likely, what's going to happen to really make it worth your while over the long period of time, you have to hope that clients and students stay in your subscription model for longer periods of time. The lifetime value of your client estimation might be $1,000. It might be $2,000 a year that you want to try and get after each client that joins your subscription model. But this means they have to stay in the subscription model for the entire 12 months to you to get all your cash collected. Now, the reason you've got to consider the cash collected is because it might cost you a lot of money to acquire one person. So I constantly see Facebook ads where it might say, join my subscription model, or join this program. You get unlimited access to this, unlimited access to that. You'll get this, you'll get that for $50 a month. But based on the acquisition of getting that client, it might cost that therapist or a coach $100 or $200 just to get one person to sign up to the subscription model, which means that if they're only charging, let's say, $50 a month, but it's costing them $200 to acquire that customer, in order to get the cash collected, you've got to hope that that student stays in for 4 months just to break even. And then on the 5th month, now you're in a profit, but it's only a profit of $50. So we think, well, how can we keep people in that subscription model? You can see it's getting confusing already. How do we keep people in that subscription model for longer periods of time? Well, it means you always have to update the content. You always have to make new things. Because if someone consumes all your content within the first month, why would they need to stay any longer? They've just spent $50. You've got $50, which means that now you have to always upgrade the content. New material, new audios, new program, which means you're putting all of this time and effort into creating new things and hoping that people stay long enough so you can get enough cash collected. So the subscription model really means that you are going to start in a deficit. It probably means that you may have to spend money on ads or something like this in order to get a bunch of people into the subscription model. But you've then got to hope, based on the acquisition to acquire those customers, how much it's costing you, that they stay in for the first 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, just to get your cash collected back before you go into a profit. Okay, so I've never really seen a subscription model. Sure, people might say it works really, really well, but I've seen a lot of their numbers. I've got a lot of colleagues that try this subscription model. I've looked at their numbers and the amount of effort they put in. I'm not really convinced that the subscription model is going to be profitable long term. It's a lot of effort for the least amount of money, but in our head, it seems logical. If I just get 50 people at $100, that's extra revenue coming in. It's not only just getting the $50, getting those 50 people, but keeping those 50 people long term, month after month after month after month, just so you can get enough cash collected back into the business. So I don't recommend doing a subscription model. My first recommendation is to stick with the MOS model. Get paid upfront, get your clients in and out, least amount of time, least amount of effort, least amount of moving parts. Remember that pill formula I gave before? Increase your speed. Then you can always look at a package model. It still includes the MOS. That's why it works so well. but you could upsell to support, monthly support. You could upsell to a new problem, whatever it is. Then you could move into the group model. I don't recommend starting at a subscription model or even bothering with it because it's too many moving parts for not a lot of income. Okay, so MOS model is about speed, package model is about speed and a little upsell. Group model takes care of any bottlenecks in time, however, it has its own issues as well. Subscription model, I recommend you avoid like the plague. So what's the fifth model? Well, let me take you to the next slide. The fifth model is what I call the evolution model. And this is what I think is the ultimate model and the evolution that all therapists and coaches should take in their business. Okay. So again, this is what we teach our students to do as well. And this is why it works so well, because we've got evidence and proof that it works so well. We can see the numbers, we can see what's going on. So let's look at this. So we've got our MOS model, then we can evolve into like a group model, and then we can evolve into an online course. So let me explain how this works. MOS model we talked about before, least amount of time, least amount of effort, least amount of moving parts, but increasing the speed. Okay, so let's look at some numbers, and these are a little bit arbitrary. This is just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So with the MOS model, you should comfortably be able to get to like the $10,000 to $20,000 per month before you start experiencing that bottleneck, which is time. I'm running out of time, Scott, to see new clients. I want to increase my income, but I can't increase the cost. I can't increase my how much it costs to work with me because there's a ceiling on that as well. My clients will only pay so much. But here I am, I'm at $20,000 a month. I want to get to $40,000 or $50,000 a month. How do I increase my income when I'm running out of time? Okay. Now some niches, their prices can scale quite high. They can scale to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. That's fine. But other niches might be only able to scale to like $1,000 a customer, $1,500 before the clients start saying, look, that's too much. So again, it depends on the niche. So $10,000 to $20,000 usually when we see our students say, I'm running out of time, Scott. So what you're doing here, the $10,000 to $20,000 per month, what this really is telling you that you've learned your skill. Okay, there is no way in the world that you can get to $10,000 to $20,000 per month unless you're good at what you do. Sure, you could get to $20,000 a month being a bad therapist or a coach, but you'd probably have $20,000 of refunds you've got to give each month, which defeats the purpose. So you should be extremely happy that now you've learned your skill because you're not getting to $20,000 or even $10,000 a month unless people can appreciate what you do and you're getting the transformation, you're getting results. Also, you've learned how to sell. Selling the MOS model is probably the easiest in some cases, but also a little bit difficult in others because you've sort of got to convince your client of how the MOS model works. And again, I'm not going to talk about pricing and how to do the MOS model and stuff. I've had other videos about that, but for now, you've learned your skill, be very happy about that. You've learned how to sell, which is really important for a therapist or a coach, especially with this evolution model. And you've learned the operations of a face-to-face business. I see a lot of therapists and coaches, they want to avoid the face-to-face. They want to get into creating an online course or jumping straight into a group coaching program. This is extremely hard if you haven't mastered the face-to-face. Because what makes a group coaching program work or even an online program work is the experience you get from face-to-face. I see far too many people creating online courses with no experience seeing face-to-face clients. So how the hell would you know what to put in your online course? What makes an incredible online course or even a group coaching course is what you learn here. You're getting paid to learn. Okay, so you've learned your skill, you've learned how to sell, you've learned the operations, but again, the bottleneck is going to be time if you want to increase your income because there's only one of you. So that evolution, you should be able to get to that within the first couple of months, pretty simple. The next evolution is to go to the group model. So we take what we learned with the MOS model and now we employ it into a group model. But like we found out, there is a start and an end date, which means we're limited on how many people we can bring in each and every month. It is one-to-one in a group, so you physically still have to do the work. It's not evergreen, which means we can't just enroll people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is the model we should be going for, and it has a lot of moving parts. So let's say, for example, we can get over $20,000 per month. Let's say it's $1,000 a student. We can get 20 clients a month doing that. We've sort of fixed the bottleneck because we're taking care of some time issues, but we're getting the most experience working with many. There's different operations and different skills to be learned from a face-to-face business, which is just one client at a time, compared to dealing with 10 clients at a time, 20 clients at a time, 50 clients at a time, and motivating all of those people. It's great experience to learn how that works. So your group model, as an example, might be like a 4-week group coaching program to overcome relationship issues, whatever it is. We'll give some context. Goes over 4 weeks. So we started at the month, we ended at the month. You could do like 1 to 2 phone calls per week that might go for an hour or 2 each. Plus there's some homework. So you might have a call on a Monday and a call on a Thursday, and you give your clients some homework that they have to do before the next coaching call. You could record all the sessions for your students, so now they're getting a product, so they see some extra value in this. And you should be able to launch this each month. Where it gets a little bit tricky is you might need 2 to 3 weeks of marketing to launch your next group coaching program, which means that if you start, let's say, your first group coaching program in January, within the first week, you've already had 1 or 2 coaching calls, plus the homework, you finished the first maybe module of your program in that first week. It means that now you need those extra 3 weeks to not only work with your current students, but now you need those 3 weeks to market it for February, and then March, and then April. So the issue with the group coaching models, it's not evergreen. Nobody can just enroll whenever they want to. And you always have to be thinking 2 or 3 weeks ahead to fill up the next group coaching or the next one and the next one if you want to be launching this every month. If you only want to be launching it once, wait 3 months, do it once again, you're better off with this because you'll actually start earning less money. Okay, so let's say we get to $20,000 per month with a group coaching pretty comfortably. I mean, you can extend that quite high, but that's just a number for now. So we've got some context. That's pretty good. The next evolution is once you're pretty comfortable working with many people at once, you've learned the operations of a group coaching program. The last evolution and the most important, where you're going to make the most amount of money, you're going to scale the most, you're going to do the least amount of work, the best operations, the least amount of moving parts. It really is that pivot form, is to productize your skill. Take what you've learned from the MOS model, face-to-face. Take what you've learned from the group coaching and find something called proof of concept. Look back over your past experience working with one client at a time and then many at a time, and what's the one thing that you found your skills you're extremely good at? What's the one thing that you relied on through your face-to-face and your group coaching program that became the catalyst to your clients getting their results? We call this proof of concept. Once you know how to treat your clients explicitly, like you could almost do it with your eyes closed, it's just like the same formula you follow all the time. You want to take what you're doing there, which is still a lot of work, and productize your skill. Turn it into an online course. Make it evergreen, which means there's no start date and there's no end date. It means that someone can enroll into your online program 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can log into your program whenever they want to. They can maybe join your Facebook group once they've enrolled. It means that you don't physically have to be there teaching anybody. You just record the program once and it teaches as many people as you want that enroll into your program over and over and over again. This is what I mean by evergreen. You could also set it up for auto enrollment. So someone could go to your website, watch your webinar, look at your sales page, whatever it is. They like what they hear. They can click the buy now button. So that goes straight to your PayPal. They pay. You get a PayPal notification that you've just been paid. Auto enrollment, so the login details automatically sent to your new student. They can get put in the Facebook group by either yourself manually or your VA or something like that. And now you've just auto enrolled everything and you don't have to physically touch anything. The great thing about that is knowing that while you sleep, you could physically wake up to PayPal notifications. That's a great place to be. You didn't have to even know who this person was. You didn't have to sell them. You didn't have to take them through the MOS model, the group model. They just decided to enroll based on what people are saying about this program, what people are saying about you, your social media, your sales page, whatever it is. Auto enrollment plus an auto payment, which means that you don't physically have to do anything. With this, with the online course, what we like to do is we like to give lifetime access to the course, lifetime access to the support that we give, lifetime access to any upgrades of the program that we do, whatever it is, and you can figure out those details for yourself depending on what you want to do. And you can easily get this to 6 figures a month and beyond. So $100,000 per month in an online course is pretty easy to do because you can see everything's auto-enrolled. What makes this so unique and powerful is that it's evergreen. But what makes an online course, like I said, is this stuff right here. How many people do you know, you might have even done this for yourself, jump straight into the online course, go straight into creating an online program, online course, and have it fail? No one wants to buy it. No one wants to enroll. So what does that therapist or a coach do? They knock down the price. They go from charging $500 for their online course now to $250. People still don't enroll. So now they drop it down to $150. People still don't enroll. They start trying to create Facebook ads and funnels. Now they're spending money that they don't have. It's almost like going back to that subscription model. So now they're starting in a deficit all the way through where they can't even give their online course away. Why? Because they haven't taken their experience from this and knowing what works and knowing what people really will pay for and what they really want in an online course, but they jump straight into this, okay? So proof of concept based on what you learned here. Evergreen runs automatically. There's no launch date. There's no stop date. There's no start dates. Basically study your own pace. Automate all the sales, automate all the enrollment, lifetime access, lifetime support, and even lifetime upgrades to any iterations that you make in the program to make it better. So there really are the 5 models that we like and what I recommend you employ. Start with the MOS, guys. I cannot stress to you how important that is. Once you've mastered the MOS, move into the group model, then take what you've learned on the MOS and the group model, turn it into an online course and start to scale exponentially. So there we have it, guys. There are our 5 online coaching business models. Like I said, this works whether you're a hypnotherapist, NLP, RTT. It really doesn't matter the type of therapy that you do. Start thinking about the model as your framework and the infrastructure of your business. But hopefully that was informative. If you have any questions like normal, just comment below. Always happy to answer those questions. That's all from me for today. Have fun evolving into these new types of models, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.